How do I boost my mental health naturally? We're going to talk more about that and more in today's video. Today's video is about how do we boost our mental health in a natural way. My name is Ife and this is Are You Happy TV. Today, we are humanizing mental health. We're talking about the natural, human, basic, simple approach towards strengthening the mind, strengthening the soul, addressing your emotions, and how do you overcome and get through it. Together we say it's okay to go through something because we're gonna get through this. And we're talking about skills we need to get through some of the most common challenges in our mental health. If you're interested in videos like that, where we're educating, we're simplifying, we're humanizing the mental health experience, click the subscribe button below so you never miss an upload. Today we're talking about naturally boosting our mental health, and we're continuing the most important thing that I think we need to address if we want to overcome mental health challenges is our emotional intelligence. So today, let's just dive right into it. Most science channels that you find, when you ask that question of how to boost your mental health naturally, they're going to talk about things like eating healthy and having a healthy exercise regimen. And while those things will absolutely boost your feel-good chemicals like serotonin and dopamine and make you feel well, secure, calm, and safe, what we're talking about here today is, to me, the most important thing we need if we're going to boost our mental health naturally. And that is, we need a daily practice of processing our thoughts and emotions. When we can get into a daily practice of processing, and that doesn't mean I'm in a therapist's office every day. That just means going through the day's events and really trying to, as deeply as possible, address the thoughts and feelings that have come up based on the day's events. So why do I say that that's important? What can happen is that if we refuse to process how we really feel on a day-to-day basis, whether it's with our friends, whether it's on our own, we will find that over time, things will begin to pile up and things will start to bother us. And over time, we might even, in a very, very, very serious case, we might even start to find ourselves doing things, going to even sometimes detrimental, destructive behavior as a means of coping with how we're feeling. And the issue here is that we never actually address the problem when we do that. Even when we're going to healthy things, sometimes healthy things even can become means of coping with challenging emotions, challenging thoughts that are affecting us, and they're simply piling up. Have you ever known someone to go run or go to the gym to deal with maybe stress on their job, to deal with maybe a challenging home life or a challenge in their relationship? You see, while the exercise, while the healthy eating, these things are healthy on its own, it is not healthy to go to something as a way of boosting ourselves in our mental health without actually addressing the issue. What we end up doing is pushing down the emotion and masking over the emotion so that we might not feel it anymore. But that doesn't mean it's gone away, now does it? So, what I'm here to say to you today is I'm here to encourage you. I'm here to teach you a new practice, a new skill, and encourage you as you go through this process to give you 4 things that you are going to learn when you decide to walk through that practice of the daily process. Okay? The practice of daily processing. The practice of processing daily. When we're processing daily, what we want to start with is the most forefront thought. The thing that is the easiest thought to identify, the easiest feeling to identify. It could be physical, it could be in our emotions, it could be something happening in our thought life. What is the easiest thing to identify that is happening in you? And as we start to verbalize those things, and I mean verbalize them, because when we just leave something swirling in our mind, it makes less sense. It's less organized. When we actually verbalize something, we have to be able to put it into language, and that language can help us to continue to create more language to further identify what's happening in us. It's like writing a paragraph. When you write a paragraph, you start with a sentence. And once you write that sentence, now you can write a second sentence, and so on and so forth. So the verbalizing is very crucial to this process. It helps us to organize our thoughts, and it helps us to create a linear narrative as to what we're feeling, why we're feeling it. So, first things first is as we go through that process, we'll see sometimes we might get to a place where it starts to become harder to express what's happening because we start to feel that emotion a bit more in a more of a raw sense of the emotion. That is our sign that we are truly getting to a good place here. I don't want us to feel like we have to push back and stop, actually getting to the real thing there. It is important for us to continue to process, because when we get to the bottom line of why we feel how we feel on a daily basis, we're going to start to learn 4 things about ourselves. Number 1, we're going to start to identify patterns. So, say for example, I am starting my journey of learning how to process daily. Today, I'm processing a challenging situation that took place on my job. And I was having a conversation with my colleague, and all of a sudden, things kind of got out of hand. And I left that situation not feeling so good about it. I tried to get through the rest of my day, and I went home, and now I'm processing what took place on my own. And what I'm finding is my colleague maybe said something that the next person maybe would have thought, what's the big deal? People are telling me there's no big deal. Don't worry about it. But for whatever reason, it's bothering me. When I can identify what's taking place through my process of daily processing, I can actually get to a place where I say, that's interesting, because this situation happened before with someone else. When I can identify a pattern, it can actually help me to do the second thing, which is learn more about myself. So not only can I learn more about myself in the realms of likes and dislikes, but something that I think is so crucial to learn about ourselves is learning what our values are. Because when we learn what our true values are, these things can help us make different choices as to how we take on the world, how we live in the world, what we decide to do in the world. what relationships we hold on to, what relationships we seek out, what opportunities we seek out, what opportunities we take, and what opportunities we let slip away. You see, the reason it's important for us to see what our true values are is that it really does help us to accomplish the things we want to accomplish in life. So let's keep going with this example of your colleague says something and it just rubs you the wrong way. Let's talk about it this way. Perhaps your colleague was bad-mouthing one of your other colleagues to you. And for whatever reason, that conversation just kind of got out of hand. And you start to process it and you just think like, how could they do that? Why would they do that? You can start asking yourself, why did that upset you? I don't know. It just did. It just annoys me that they're talking about that person like that. Well, why does it annoy you? Well, it annoys me because I start to think, that this person who's talking so poorly about someone else is going to talk about me like that when I'm not around. A realization like that is very, very major in the world of processing, because when you can realize, this person saying this causes me to think that they are going to talk about me like that when I'm not around. Now you've come to a place where you found out a value that you have. Perhaps that value is, I value treating others the way I want to be treated. Perhaps that value is, I value knowing that the people I'm in relationship with have integrity. Perhaps that value is, I value and I take it seriously when the people I know, I want to know that I can trust them. These things are important to learn about ourselves, because when we uncover those values about ourselves, we can actually internalize them and see that actually values are strengths. We can walk in greater integrity as we live more authentically in the way that we were created to live. Now, one of the next things that I would say is very important to identify, and it only comes through our daily process of processing, our daily practice of processing, is we learn more about our weak areas. Let's take that same example. If I'm looking at myself in that example and I say, I really flew off the handle there, that is important for us to understand. Why? We can identify patterns of our own weak areas so that the next time we can start to maybe view those areas with a little more wisdom. Our emotional intelligence can be boosted, and perhaps next time we can have more self-control. If we respond in ways that we don't like, because an area of our values maybe was getting nudged at a little bit, it's important for us to identify that the way that we don't like how we're responding, how we're reacting really, we should be learning that this is a weak area that needs strengthening. Without discipline in our mental health, our weak areas remain weak. Without proper self-control and learning that muscle, sometimes it's just patience. Sometimes the skill we need to learn is taking a deep breath. Sometimes we need to understand that we don't have to take things personally. Whatever it is, our weak areas remain weak when we don't understand that they're weak and when we don't learn that they're weak. So this is an important part that comes out when we have our daily practice of processing. And our last area of our daily practice of processing that we get to learn is we get to learn our strengths. Now, the most crucial part to walking in who you are authentically is learning your strengths and internalizing your strengths and owning your strengths and taking responsibility and saying, these things, these beautiful things are strengths of mine. Taking your values and accepting them as part of you and understanding that when we can walk boldly in our strengths, we can live as authentic human beings, unapologetically, living and helping and breathing and enjoying and being the people we're meant to be. So, if you're interested in starting this practice of daily processing, I want to offer you a free gift. It's our daily wellness checklist. And I think it's going to be really helpful because it helps to increase our emotional intelligence. It helps us to be able to say, okay, what did I do today to show myself love? Did I encourage myself? Did I watch a movie alone? Did I get to play some video games? Did I enjoy that? Was I present? It helps us to just be able to process what happened and how we loved ourselves, how we boosted our mental health that day. I love the question that says, paint yourself a picture of hope, because one of the questions there, it helps you to say, what do I want to do differently tomorrow? What do I want to try tomorrow? And that question is great. It gives us an exciting opportunity to say, tomorrow's a new day. Maybe things happen today, but let me get a more positive understanding that tomorrow I can try something different. Tomorrow I can try something new. And I think that even the journal prompt that's there, it's going to help you. So if you want that, I want you to tell me how it's helping you, and I want you to try that. Try it for 7 days and leave a comment, maybe even send me a message, email. Let me know how it's going for you. Let me know if there's another area you think I should add to it. But that's a free gift. All you have to do is put in your email address and I'll send it to you. So, if you also want to rep the happy humans, hey, happy humans, you can get some great merch. I love all of our designs that are there. They're super cool. This was white and I dyed it myself. If you want a link to the dye that I used, I'll just leave an affiliate link, because if that's what you want, you could have it. So there we go. That's today's message. Subscribe so you never miss another upload. And be happy, be free. Let me know if any of this content is even helping you. If you want to see anything else, leave a comment down below. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.